On today's Chokeslam Wrestling Report, we are going to be talking about AEW, who is trying to do now book their matches like New Japan's technique. My question is, would this work especially in the American, wrestling scene, especially in AEW? We're going to be talking about that. I'm going to have a special guest here today. Hopefully he'll join us. So that is what's going to be happening. So guys, check it out. And when we are live on YouTube and we are live on Facebook, we're going to go through all that and more on the Chokeslam Wrestling Report. Let's get this.
Is the moment we've all been waiting for the thousands in attendance and the millions watching around the world. Ladies and gentlemen, let's get ready to rumble!
Welcome to another episode of the Chokeslam Wrestling Report. I got my boy Jay Santy from the Turnbuckle Tabloid. Can you hear me, brother? You can hear me? I can't hear you.
There I go.
There you go. What's up, bro?
Ain't nothing. You already know. It's another day. It's how it is. We're doing it up. We got to be in the building. That's how we is.
Yeah. I think this is the dangerous tag team in podcast in the genre right now, because we got our beliefs and we are passionate about wrestling. Now, I brought you in today because we were hanging out in House of Glory, and I think one of the worst House of Glory shows I've ever been at. I don't know if you agree with me on that.
Oh, definitely. I'm on agreement. Listen, they all can't be gems, ladies and gentlemen.
Fucking 4 hours. I thought it was an AEW event.
Nah, you'd have thought it was WrestleMania. I was ready for night 2.
Yeah, so you brought up something that I have not noticed, and it was AEW trying to book their shows as New Japan style. Mm-hmm. And you asked me what I thought about it.
Right.
Yeah. Now, before I even give you my thoughts on that, what did you see that is making you believe that that's the route they're taking?
Well, there's already been talks about pulling away from more story-driven angles and matches. Then the other aspect that you're starting to see, especially with the tournament, mm-hmm. I enjoy the tournament. I actually think it's a good work to have within the company. It's very, it's old school. It's all Japan style. It's New Japan style. I actually thought that if they would have came up with this a couple of years ago and made it more of an annual event a couple of years ago, you'd have actually drew more eyes to the product. But with that, they're also they want to bring back more of the records. They want to do that again. They're trying to find a way to put that up to make it relevant. But also, when you look at how their booking is now, it's just such random individuals. Not even in a tournament, just in wrestling in general. You just see them throw together matches out of the blue.
Yeah, I mean, and this is my opinion. Why I think it won't work in the U.S. and especially in AEW scene. Now, you know how these wrestling fans today are. They want. You have a storyline. They're not into long-term storylines, because the one thing I can tell you about New Japan Pro Wrestling, and I believe All Japan does the same thing. I don't follow All Japan like that, but when I do get a chance, I watch here and there. They're not as popular as before. But when it comes to New Japan Pro Wrestling, the one thing I can tell you about New Japan Pro Wrestling is that when it comes to storylines, they do 2 years worth of storylines. And they stick to it. You know what I'm saying? And if you look at New Japan is not, you're not going to see New Japan people go in the microphone, do a 10-minute, promo and none of that. It's just about putting guys in the ring and having a 20-25 minute match that depends on what part of the card you at. Because if you were like in the beginning, they'll probably give you a 10-minute match. But to me, I feel that these fans in the United States are not going to be, well, we got to wait 2 years for a story to blow up. You know what I'm saying? Do you agree with me on that or what? Because, everything now is, we got to have it now.
Well, I've been saying that, in stateside, this fan base is story driven. They love drama. Yeah. That's what they like. They like drama. They like purpose for a fight. It's for everything. We see it in boxing. We see them in mixed martial arts. We always got to have that pose down, that weigh in, and somebody got to get into somebody's face, and then they start a fight, or whatever the case may be. And they like to see compelling matchups, and it's different in Japan and such because they're very pick up and go when it comes to everything, including wrestling. It's more like you're looking at. I play video games and I have emulators.
Yeah.
And emulators are good consoles to have because you can just pick up the game and play what you want, and you pick up where you last left off and you go. With wrestling, it's kind of especially with AEW, you've already given them what they wanted and told them that you were going to do this, and now just because the product isn't being catered to your audience anymore and they're pulling away, now you want to add something to that mix.
Yeah. I mean, to me, I feel like if they are going that route, right? You know what I'm saying? If they are going that route, you know what I'm saying? Tony Khan cannot continue doing what he's doing right now. You know what I'm saying? I mean, he put the Continental Classic together. At first, when he announced it, I said to myself, another damn tournament, and I'm like, what are we going to get out of this? What's the end goal? You know what I'm saying? But then I saw that Eddie Kingston pulled the belts off for grab and whatnot. So I'm saying, okay, so now you're eliminating the Ring of Honor world title and the New Japan Strong and combining it to what? And then when I saw that they announced they're gonna put a title, and it's a Triple Crown title. Now, again, I think I even told you this when we were at the event. A Triple Crown title, that means you're getting world titles put together. That's a Triple Crown title. So is this worth more than the AEW title? That's my thing, because in All Japan Pro Wrestling, the Triple Crown is their world title.
Right.
So again, that's kind of confusing. Doesn't that confuse you in a way?
It does, but it's also it has to be their partnership with New Japan to get this going along, because I find it that out of this tournament, one of them belts is not yours. They're not your belt. One of them, the New Japan belt, is not theirs. So there has to be like some kind of relationship with that, and which is why the Triple Crown thing must be put over. And once again, we got to think about it. Not myself so much, but I pick up when I go. But how many people really follow along from the stateside New Japan, or overseas wrestling and such? And how many people are able to put that together? If AEW is going to take that kind of premise and idea and spin it to their way, nobody's going to really know what the real legitimacy of those titles mean. AEW just spin it the way that they want to, but I see where you're coming from, to where it does feel as though like that those titles are going to be more significant than their world title.
Now, my thing is, now if they're going to convert it into one title, we adding another fucking title to the AEW scene when you already have the TNT title, which to me, Christian is doing fucking magic with that belt. That belt was dead.
Yeah, it was dead in the water. Yeah,
that was dead in the water. An international title, again, I don't understand the international title, because if you have the AEW international title, why don't you fucking send who's the champion now, Orange Cassidy, to Mexico or to Japan or to the UK? The only guy that I know that had that belt and went across the pond to defend it was Pac.
Mm-hmm.
And that's it. Nobody else has done that. So,
Yeah.
I mean, and let me ask you, what do you think about the Continental Classic? Do you think those matches are great? I mean, I'm liking it so far.
Yeah, I'm like I said, I'm enjoying it. I enjoy the matchups. When you see like a Jay Lethal versus Jay White, and matches that on paper you would be like, oh, these would be considered like somewhat dream matches, what the case may be. But now it's set up in this format. It's a good look. That's why I said they should have done it a couple of years ago. It probably would have picked up steam and had more relevance to it. But to your point about the titles, you know, you're an old school dude like me. You remember like NWA and AWA. They had like 10 belts in their promotion. But
it had meaning though. You already knew what that title meant. But
they had the 6-man tags. They had TV titles. They had intercontinental TV titles. They had junior heavyweight weightlifting. They had different fucking belts all the time. But it's to what you said. There was meaning for it. And it looks as though like we're just throwing out belts, for merchandise, or just to say, hey, look, this is a champion here. You know, right now that Continental belt, that international emotional, whatever the fuck that shit is, that Orange Cassidy, the emotional belt,
emotional damage.
That shit is just, it's a paperweight. That's exactly what it is. It's a paperweight.
It doesn't have any, like, they figured, oh, let's change the name from All Atlantic to, you know, International. And once I said International, that's why I remember the night that me and you were going back and forth on Facebook chat when you said, oh, that belt don't mean nothing, and I told you, oh, well, when Moxley gets it, he'll probably be able to defend it at, you know, in Japan, because Moxley goes back and forth to Japan, which it would have made more sense. No, but Moxley gets hurt. They give it back to to what the hell, Orange Cassidy. And they haven't done shit with it. Like, he's beating guys bigger than him, which makes no sense to me. You know what I'm saying?
Because that's Tony's boy. That's his guy. You know, and and plus he's, like I said, he's being groomed to be a booker or a producer now. So, you know, he's got a bicycle. He's doing the same thing with the whole AEW thing now. It's like, you know, I
think this is Marco, because guys, if you're on Facebook, I can't see the name.
Yeah, you have to click on the link so that your name can come up.
Yeah. I think this is Marco. Marco saying AEW has a deal with CMML, and that company is not AAA, but they're doing work with AAA also. But, you know, I think he doesn't care about the international shit, because I remember there's a lot of problems with AEW. I remember me and you were going back and forth, and I was like kind of like in denial. Oh, AEW is fine, but every week there's some bullshit going on. Every week there's something. And I remember, I think Commander didn't want to wrestle Metalik because Metalik didn't want to loosen it. I mean, all this shit is going out. I mean, what's your thought about now that this thing about Bryan Danielson giving fines to wrestlers who are going to social media and complaining about where they at in the you know,
it's a double-edged sword with it, because years ago, you know, wrestlers would deal with their own issues in the back, you know, and as much as people used to laugh at it and thought it was funny with the whole wrestling court when WWE and WWF used to do it, it was goofy, but yet, you know, still they maintained their own locker room. As per this Bryan Danielson being the chief muckety-muck of being able to fine wrestlers and such, I'm like, okay, so he gets the role to be able to discipline wrestlers or help wrestlers or correct wrestlers or give them advice or tutelage about something. He's getting this power, but why did we get rid of Punk again? But that's another story. As for him.
But talking about Punk, he kind of admitted last night that he punched Jack Perry.
Well, he was tongue in cheek with it when he said it. Like, it was like
dying when I saw that. I said,
he was like, who can do that in 2023?
Yeah.
Like, wow. But he was kind of
give a fuck about the NDA. So,
but with the Bryan Danielson thing, it's like, is he now given a position that we don't really know about? Because companies, promotions, wherever you go, have standards, and those standards are now being your social media standards, and practices. But why is it that he is the one that's been given this role? Why is it that he's been given this lead? Is he another one that's falling in line to possibly getting a higher position of EVP position there? This is probably a trial run.
Well, during the summer, I remember when he was coming back from the Broken Forum, and when he came back, and he mentioned that he was going to retire next year. There was rumors going around that he might work behind the scenes. So right. I don't know how legit that was, but now that all this, things coming out now that he, he's giving fines and all that, it looks like that's exactly what he might be doing, because he might, he's not going to wrestle no more, and it's less, he don't have to travel, all the time, you know what I'm saying? Unless he's like, if they come to the West Coast and whatnot. But it looks like he's like, they're talking about he's a locker room leader, but damn, for a locker room leader, you're giving out fines and discipline. If you get online and talk shit about yourself, or the company, somebody's got to do it, because this is getting ridiculous.
But exactly, why is he doing it? Why isn't Tony doing it? Why isn't
Tony's a punk? What's funny? I was watching this documentary on YouTube. It was last week, and it was called the something about CM Punk when he first came, and it took us all the way to when he came back from Collision and whatever. Pretty much, I looked at the scrum again, and the guy who asked the fucking questions to Punk, and he went off or whatever. It shows you that fucking, Tony Khan is a little bitch. He's scared. He's scared to do anything. You know what I'm saying? And so he figured, who can I go to? And so people don't approach me on anything like that. People were saying there was John Moxley before. I don't think John Moxley gives a fuck anymore. He's just like doing whatever the hell. He even admitted he does whatever the hell he wants. He admitted it in some interview, some shit he did. And so he figured, well, Bryan Danielson, I guess because the locker room respects him, but you're giving a job to a wrestler that is supposed to be the boss, and I don't think he got anybody that's like under him. You know what I'm saying? Like a supervisor type shit,
Right.
He's the owner, and I'm gonna tell you what to do, but I'll have Bryan Danielson give you a fine.
It reminds me of a book that I was just listening to. Check it out, guys. It's actually a really, really good audio book. Or if you could read the book. But it's called Todd is God. It's about the history of ECW through the creator's eyes of Todd Gordon.
I think you told me about that.
Yeah, it's Sean
Oliver. What's it called?
Todd is God. Todd is God.
Todd is God. Yeah, you did tell me.
And Sean Oliver was the one who helped him write it as well. And there's a portion that, well, the large part of the book is he and Paul Heyman's relationship, and he discusses how Heyman made his way into ECW, and he became the buffer between wrestlers and Todd Gordon. He was like, don't worry about it, deal what you got to deal with business wise. Let me be your buffer. Let me be the one that's the go-between. Let the wrestlers come to me. And I kind of see this in play now with Tony Khan and with Bryan Danielson or whoever is in the mix. But when you read the book and the history of ECW, it didn't turn out well. And let's just say that those two have not spoken to each other in, I think, maybe almost 20 years. So there's something to the fact of which I've been saying for the longest about Tony Khan and his way of promoting and being a promoter and booker and shit like that. You want to be all these guys' friends. And as a businessman, you can't be all these people's friends. You got to find a way to be cutthroat. You got to find a way to have to cut your losses. How many people do you think is on the roster for AEW
right now?
Yeah,
it's got to be over 80 or 90, bro.
I will tell you. And I was on a podcast yesterday. Shout out to the Ring Fanatics and some cool dudes.
Oh yeah. Trying to do something with them.
Yeah, good dudes. Just reach out to them. They'll do something. 125.
Ooh,
that's just guys.
That's just guys.
That's just guys.
Not the females. 40
women.
40. So, and they only showcase 2 girls a night.
If that. And now it's Tony Storm and enter Japanese
Sky
person
Blue.
Here, yeah, or Sky Blue on Rampage or something. Like that's a lot of talent for 5-hour programming, because you got 2 on Dynamite, 2 on Collision, and 1 on Rampage. You only get 5 hours to 165 time. Yeah, that's amazing. You got to start learning how to cut the fat.
They need to look. To me, Rampage is a waste of time. Let's be realistic. You know what I'm saying? If you turn Rampage into a female wrestling show, okay, I know that female wrestling is not as popular as it used to before, but I feel that if they turn Rampage to a female wrestling show for an hour, you could showcase at least 6 girls in one show, and then you showcase 2 more in every other show, Collision, and that's 10 girls you could add. Because right now, Athena, her day as an AEW champion, woman, I'm not AEW, I'm sorry, Ring of Honor champion. That's done after December 15, which is next Friday, as final battle. She's losing that belt to Billy Starks, and she already said it. That's a swan song, right? So you got that one coming. That one's coming to AEW. You know that's gonna happen. Now, who's the other one? There's two female wrestlers right now that are out there right now. That one I think is going to return back to WWE. I don't even think she's going to even step foot in AEW. And the other one's in Impact right now. The first one I just spoke about is Mercedes Moné. I think she's going back to WWE. I don't see her in AEW. There's no fun. There's no way that Mercedes Moné is going to be like, I'm going to go. I just went from Japan, Stardom, which is competition like hell, to go to AEW that doesn't even respect the women's division. The only good thing about that whole women's division is Tony Storm, right? So why would she go to AEW? She might as well just go to WWE, especially now that I believe Charlotte Flair got hurt. She's out with an ACL. I think her ACL got torn. I saw that. That was a bad fucking fall. So that's perfect for her to go back, and especially now that I'm hearing that Bayley. I don't know if it's true. I don't know if you heard it, but Bayley says she's not going to sign with WWE, which I think that's bullshit. I think that was a rumor. I don't know. I saw that. So, and the other one that I'm talking about that's from Impact is Deonna Purrazzo. Because Purrazzo I remember Brit Baker saying that she wanted to wrestle Deonna Purrazzo at AEW, but the way Brit Baker's bitching and moaning about she's not getting this and all that, I'm saying to myself, now, do you agree with her bitching about this when this woman was given almost everything the last 2 years?
Well, that's the problem. She got everything in the freaking speedboat. You know, they tossed her everything, and when you don't get it anymore, you're gonna be upset about it. Your idea about an all woman show, we discussed that the other night too. Sounds good on paper.
Yeah,
and. I know people think that I'm sexist and such like that.
They think about me.
I'm a misogynist.
They think the same shit about me.
But I'm sorry, but it's a novelty. And honestly, like when it comes to women's wrestling, unless you know how to do it like a dude, wrestle like a guy, a lot of guys ain't gonna watch it. You know who likes that? Little kids. Little kids watch like women's wrestling. So if you would make that over, you know how many kids like shout out to Rob. You know, he brings his son. And his son comes to watch women's wrestling. That's his thing. And that's what I said about with Raw. What they should do is they should pack it up with the women's wrestling, give them the 8 to 10 hour, let them have 2 or 3 women's matches in there. And then when the kids go to sleep, so they go to school, they got their fill of women's wrestling and it can go. As for them to have a whole show, come on. We saw what happened when WWE had a women's pay-per-view. Nobody bought that shit. Nobody was buying.
I mean, but see, nobody bought that. But the woman, I think the NWA had a old woman show a couple of years ago. It did pretty well, you know, say for NWA. But my thing,
yeah, because look how well it's doing right now. It's skyrocketed up to the fucking top.
Look at the fuck is running that fucking NWA. You know what I'm saying? That guy's a fucking idiot. So, but I won't consider women's wrestling a novelty. I think they're not getting that respect as far as when it comes to AEW. I say AEW because I mean, right now, in my head, I think the Impact's women's division is a little better than WWE. Even though WWE has a lot of females there that they could be pushing instead of the same ones all the time. But I mean, to me, I think, you know, Tony Khan don't give a rat's ass about women's wrestling. So if you don't care about the women's wrestling, then slash that shit out of your fucking. But you can't do that because then, you know, the women's movement and shit.
Listen, Ring of Honor for years did not have a women's division.
Oh yeah,
for years they didn't. You know, until they started seeing how what really skyrocketed the women's division in wrestling was an Impact when TNA did it.
Yeah,
you know, when they had their Gail Kims, their Awesome Kong.
Were they the one doing it first before WWE?
No, they just did it better. You know, because remember WWE was doing their divas, you know, and they only really had they had a Lita, they had
oh yeah, you're right.
Phoenix. Right. They had
speaking about Beth Phoenix, she's popping up in AEW.
Trish Stratus. Oh yeah, she's gonna pop up there. Yeah, definitely. But even still, it's like, then what? What are we gonna do after that? How much happens now? So I think with Tony Khan, he needs to learn how to cut the fat. You know, let's minimize these rosters. Vince and WWE did the biggest power play, and they play right into their hands. When Vince got rid of all these wrestlers and said, "Good luck, do what you got to do. Hey, more power to them," and he went out and signed Swerve, Miro, he ain't signed Top Dollar, he ain't signed them, but you know, he
Flop Boy.
Yeah, he went out and got all these guys. He got all the talent, and you just realize you inflated your roster. So now everybody's not going to get screen time. Everybody's not hanging out in catering. But at least with WWE, their catering is actually better than anybody else.
Yeah, I mean, and
they got top-notch shit.
Yeah, and the funny thing is, and I was thinking about this today. I'm like, AEW came in last year, the beginning of this year, with that black eye with the thing with the CM Punk situation and whatnot. And you figure like, well, you know what? Let's put that behind them and do whatever. And again, and I'm gonna keep saying, as a matter of fact, I'm gonna go online and check what was this week's AEW rating, because I think I told you they only done 1 million twice this year.
Yeah,
twice. Yeah. They got what was it? What was the last Wednesday was what? Actually, they ain't even gonna say. I think with. I gotta look for it. They only done it twice. So, and then I heard that their merchandise sales are down 60% to 70%.
Right.
I mean, is it because CM Punk left? I mean, you can't tell me that their merchandise sales only because of CM Punk. Why people are not buying their merchandise? And then, I mean, I understand the ratings part, because, I mean, 1 week they have banger matches, and then the following week they ain't got shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, and you like wonder like why this show was even fucking done. What was the purpose of that? And I mean, to me, I'm like, what the hell is going on? And well, they got 823 views this week, so they have
that's
a 4% drop from last week. Why you? And the show wasn't bad. The show wasn't bad. They had some good matches. I think. They just killed the vibe when they bring in I forgot what fucking match they had this week that just killed it. Like, they started off good with I think they started off with the Jay Lethal versus Jay White, right?
Mm-hmm.
That was the beginning, and that was a banger match. And then they had another one, and then they put some other bullshit match, and I'm like, why? You know? Now, quick question: what do you think about this devil's the revealing of the devil And I mean, to me, I think this is I'm not liking where this is going because one, MJF is hurt.
Mm-hmm.
He's about to do surgery supposedly, and supposedly he said that he's gonna try to do some stem cell in order for him to defend the belt within what's the date? Today's the 9th in another 3 weeks.
Right.
I mean, do you still think it's gonna be Adam Cole, or they're gonna go and do something stupid? Then you're gonna be like, what the fuck is this?
So I'm going with, you know, the obvious would be Adam Cole. I talked about it yesterday with those guys. I said I would like it to be somebody that's out of the realm that they're not that they're possibly going to be looking to sign, like a Sami Callihan, like something like that. I would have probably thought of something maybe of that way. But shout out to Nick at the Ring Fanatics. This kid came up with something, and I said, shit, I should have fucking thought of that. That should have been. He said, what if it's Brit Baker? What if she's the one that's doing it for Adam Cole, and Adam Cole doesn't know that it's her? He finds out, and now he has to choose between MJF and his wife. I was like, that would make so much sense if they were smart to do that.
And to top it off, it would make a lot of sense also if Adam Cole never had no surgery. He just had a sprained ankle, and they've been playing the fans off for fucking months.
Right.
Because if you saw him at what was the last fucking pay-per-view? Full Gear.
Mm-hmm.
And I think he came out again when Samoa Joe came out after Samoa Joe helped, and MJF said, well, no, I'm not giving you the titles, and he came out. The fucking the boot he's wearing, and it's not the type of boot that you wear after you have a fucking ankle surgery. I tell you, because I had that same boot. I broke my fucking tibia bone. I didn't wear that shit for 8-9 weeks. This guy was wearing that shit within 3.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
So was that the soft cast? The soft cast that he had on?
Yeah, it's like a boot. Yeah.
Right.
I was like, the fuck is going on here? You know what I'm saying? Now, here's something I saw online that somebody said, which I think it doesn't make any sense. Somebody said, imagine if it's what was it called? What was that fucking group he was in? There was the FTR, Shawn Spears, and Warlow. They're the ones behind the devil shit.
Right.
And who knows if Britt Baker is that's her guys, and they're the ones doing that shit. Right. What was the name of that fucking group?
The Tribunal. I don't know.
That's how quickly that I forgot. But they're talking about Shawn Spears, Warlow, and FTR. Because FTR, I think they're going to turn heel. It's coming. You know what I'm saying? Because they're about to get into a feud with House of Black.
House of
Black, yeah. My fucking brain's not working.
Yeah, today. They're like I said, they're this is what I'm saying. Like all of this is just a minutia. It's just a lot of different blending of different storylines and personalities that they're switching around because they have no idea. I mentioned it before. I mentioned it on the podcast, and I mentioned it the other day where I said Tony had a 3-year plan. His plan was to start that program, get that promotion going, and get Hangman Page to be their champ. You know? Then when WWE did their releases, they were quickly to snatch up the Bryan Danielsons, the Christians, you know, and the Adam Coles, the Kyle O'Reilly, which some people are saying that he might be the devil as well. Kyle O'Reilly.
I think that's crossed my mind because he's been out for a year and a half. I think it's time for him to come back.
I said that with Kyle O'Reilly, I hope that he doesn't give that Nigel McGuinness kind of vibe, that he's just, you know, slowly and quietly dealing with like really severe illness, and he may never come back again. So that's kind of
he's not clear yet. I mean, it's been over a year. I think it wasn't a spinal neck injury.
Yeah, and I think he also has like type A diabetes or something like that. He has like
I didn't know that.
Yeah, he has like some kind of other illnesses that's going on with him. So
I mean,
it's them just putting together a lot of stuff within that company And it's almost like saying, I'm gonna throw fucking darts on a fucking dartboard and make a storyline.
It's like there's so many moving fucking parts.
Right.
So I mean, and it's funny because your boy Ephraim sent me I think he sent me a little video of Peter Goldsberg, whatever, the guy from fucking WWE.
Oh, Rosenberg,
yeah. He said, but the video he made a lot of sense because he said AEW or the fans wanted an alternative from WWE, right? So they wanted AEW because people were tired of McMahon's bullshit, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now the fucking shoe is on the other side. McMahon is no longer there. Triple H has people that are working with him, even though Triple H is in charge. And now Tony Khan has become McMahon.
Yeah, shout out to Wrestling Fan Frankie. He's always showing love and throwing me some stuff, and as you as well, about stuff like this. And it's become, once again, the hero turning into the villain, in which that's what you didn't want to be. You had so many promises. Yeah. You had so many promises that you made to the fans, to wrestlers and stuff, and now you had to put up a shut up, and now you're not even doing. You got rid of one of your top talents in the back as a producer, Kevin Sullivan. Nobody got involved. Tony didn't get involved in that firing. There was no need for.
Was it the Taskmaster they fired? Because somebody said it wasn't him.
No, it's another Kevin Sullivan.
Because I'm not saying that's not.
But even still, the dude that was back there. That other Kevin Sullivan, he's actually smart to the business.
Yeah.
So
did he come from WWE?
Yeah,
he did. I remember. Yeah.
And I think what's happening is that it's you don't want to be that person that you never thought that you would turn out to be, but you're turning into that person. And yeah. Tony, although he doesn't have the grapefruits, as they used to say about Vince, but yeah, he's becoming that, and it goes to show it because you see how the promotion is.
Yeah, it's just crazy, Bob. And not only that, but then he goes, and gets fucking Ric Flair. Now, did you see that video going around? He getting fucking slapped up by a UFC guy.
Oh, that was hilarious. It's like, Rick, go home.
Was that a fucking promo? Was it fucking real? What? I don't even know how to react to that.
I think it's just buffoonery. It's just stupid shit that's going on.
I mean, that's not a fucking good look for AEW.
You got a 75-year-old man wanting to start some shit in a bar. Like, go home, Rick. Go the fuck home.
Oh my god, yo! When I saw that, I said, "Did you just get slapped?"
Oh yeah, viejo, sit your ass down. Like, and then like if you even saw like the banter and the conversation, you could tell like Rick was a little bit loopy, and the UFC fighter, he's like, Rick, I respect you, dog. Like I'm not. And I'm like, I laugh because you could tell that it was a worked punch that Rick threw. But I laugh because the dude slapped the shit out of Rick afterwards. I
rewinded that shit like 4 or 5 times. I said, did Ric Flair just hit him like with a wrestling move? What the fuck?
Yeah, he hit him with a worked punch. It's fucking hilarious.
Someone man slapped the shit out of him, yo. So, oh my god. But I think, honestly, bro, I think Tony Khan is so fucking. He is fucking like, how you call it? Like he wants to fucking beat WWE so bad in the ratings. And I'm saying, yo, dude, you only been around for 4 years. You got to go through the ups and downs in the company. And you're doing it too fucking early. You know?
It's sad that you can't even piggyback off of SmackDown's ratings and audience to slide them go to see your show. You know, 2.1, 2.2 million viewers on SmackDown. Going to Rampage, what? 357,000? Like you can't even get that audience to cross over at 10 o'clock. I don't think that's probably a 1% of the fucking 200 million because I mean, I don't get it. Like and let me tell you something. SmackDown doesn't do very well as far as matches wise. You'll have a couple of matches that are good, but they're not, and that's not something for me to sit down there and watch for 2 hours. I'll watch video clips here and there.
Right. But if you can't get people from 2 million, and that was what the wasn't that something for the troops that they do every year?
Yeah.
And that's one of the fucking worst shows they do most of the time throughout the year. So how is it you can't get people to go to your fucking show?
Listen, and you know the AEW marks they applauded when I believe it was like a week ago or 2 weeks ago.
No, please tell me nothing about the Smackdown.
Right, Smackdown was
FS1,
and it was on FS1, and even so, that rating at FS1 for 721,000 is a great rating for FS1.
Yeah.
Like they don't even get that for like I don't know, like in local hockey. Like they don't even get that shit.
No. So I saw that and I was like, you fucking celebrating something that's fucking who they lost to Collision or to Rampage?
No, it was to Dynamite. It was Dynamite. They were trying to compare Smackdown's ratings to Dynamite, and it's
and this is the thing that I get mad. I mean, when people like this wrestling fucking fan base, and that's every AEW and WWE, it just I'll be like, yo, just shut the fuck up and watch the show. Doesn't matter. You know what I'm saying? If you like AEW, fine. Watch AEW. With me, the more I see AEW, I enjoy the matches because I'm more like, you know, I've been a freaking indie fans and all that since fucking Ring of Honor and shit. So I enjoy stuff like that. But when I see stupidity and whatnot, that I'll be like, why are you doing this? Because I'm all about end goal. You're gonna do a fucking whole storyline. There's got to be an end goal. Don't let it end it of stupidity. Like right now, I look at Jay White, and Jay White's like my fucking favorite wrestler. You said besides John Moxley.
Mm-hmm.
And after his loss to MJF and the way they fucking did it, I look at Jay White. I'm like, damn, bro, they really fucking him up at AEW.
I think the way that they even booked that whole thing was just
fucking horrible,
silly. It's very silly. And then, you know, now you want to. Now you're ready to put all the chips on the table with Ospreay. Not for nothing. Ospreay is spectacular. And on the mic, in the ring, awesome. But you know, now it's become a thing is that you're once again, you're gonna inflate that roster. You're gonna need him to work double time. And after what's been happening as of late with WWE, with them getting the Codys, getting the Jade Cargills, getting the Punks, I don't know, man. At the end of the day, you're gonna have to start, you know, working with blinders and not worrying about what the competition's doing and start looking forward because
they have to do a reset, bro.
Yeah, and I believe
you have to do a reset. You need to get first of all, get rid of the fucking Hardys. Those guys are slow, and especially when I'm hearing they complaining about they not getting a run, dude. Fucking Jeff Hardy came, and within 2 months he got caught drinking and driving.
Yeah,
so that's and then. I mean, I don't know what happened to Private Party. I mean, we seen Mark Quinn not long ago in House of Glory hanging out.
Yeah, but he I think he popped up recently, and they're talking about that he's gonna make his way back soon. He's been out for a year and a half. He had a soldier injury. So
was it you that told me that it would be great if Mark Quinn turned on fucking Isaiah?
Hell yeah, this would be the perfect time for him to go singles. It'd be great.
Yeah, and then we also saw. We were in the House of Glory. I sent you a clip of Prince Nana giving Camp Broadway a card. Are we gonna see Camp Broadway in AEW?
Well, he did a AEW dark match one time before. You know, you asked me, is he of that caliber? And I'm like, yeah, he's of that caliber than most of the guys on that fucking roster. The kid's been sharp for the longest time. But if you're gonna pull the trigger on him doing it now, because you know, if this is what they want to start doing again, which is looking at the young up and coming wrestlers, that'll be your hard reset. You know, WWE's doing their own hard reset. The Triple H is like trying to slowly but surely get his people up, and whatever Vince did prior, he's trying to like wash away and make you forget about certain shit. The AEW is going to really need to do that, and I think that's what they're probably going to do for January.
Well, they're gonna listen. The way I look at it, what I'm, the way I'm looking at it right now is if they don't do a hard reset, you bringing in Will Ospreay, which is one of the fucking best wrestlers in the world right now. He's been hot, beating every fucking body, and I think he should be Wrestler of the Year. That's my opinion. You bring him in, and let's say if you bring Mercedes Moné, you need to fucking reset that woman's division and get rid of the fat, like you say. All these guys you got, the fucking Isaiah Cassidy's, the Hardys, who else is in there that they don't need? Those fucking big guys, I forgot their name. They come out thinking the guy looks like he on steroids. 3 of them. They used to be the Bears, whatever the fuck.
Bear Country.
Yeah, get rid of all these cats that you don't need. You know what I'm saying? Like, and then you grab whoever you need to grab, and if you need to do a brand split, do it, because you got too many guys. Too many guys in Dynamite. They're showing up from Collision also. So you're taking the guys from Dynamite, they come to Collision, they're taking a spot for somebody you could use. You know what I'm saying? Miro, they have not done shit with him in the last 2 years. You know what I'm saying? Again, Jay White doesn't look like the Jay White that when he was in Japan. You know what I'm saying? He has lost his momentum. I mean, they got to do something, and they don't get Mercedes Moné in or Julia from Stardom. They fucking done, and the women's division will be done, because it doesn't matter if you bring in Deonna Purrazzo. Deonna Purrazzo won't be able to carry that, even though you have Athena, whatever, but you won't be able to carry that.
But it's like how you mentioned when you say the grass isn't always greener, and you're right, but it's on both sides, because there's certain talent that needs to be nurtured and groomed. There's certain talent that needs to be under a microscope, taught, watched to progress. And then there's certain talent that's like, hey, they already got the chops, let them go. Let them rip. And AEW is not for all of them. A lot of these guys are going in there fresh off the indies. A lot of them only have like maybe 2 or 3 years in the business, and they feel like they know everything. There was someone who made a comment, I think it was Tully Blanchard, who said that when he and Arn was there, that none of the guys came up to talk to them.
Yeah, I heard that.
It was made a motion in WWE in a performance center and NXT and such that everybody spoke to all the legends, the Dusties, the Shawns, when Nash would come through, and they all went under that learning tree. These guys in AEW, they don't feel like they need it. And I blame Tony, but I also blame guys like Jericho, who give them their pass to say, hey guys, just go out there and tear it up. But it's like, dude, when you were coming up, you were listening to the Cornettes, you were listening to the JJ Dillons, you were listening to Dusty. You can't be that way with the rest of the roster. Just be like, hey man, I'm just one of you guys. I'm 52 years old, but I'm still acting 30. Nah, you can't do that, bro.
And I mean, to me, the way I'm looking at it, and I'm going to ask you, do you think this young talents now, or the guys who have been there probably 10, 15 years, do you think that they feel that they're entitled and they don't need to go to guys like a Jake Roberts? Who else is in there? Let's say when Tully Blanchard and R. Anderson was there. Do you think this wrestling crop of wrestlers are coming up, or they're already in the business, are they entitled? Do they feel like, I don't gotta listen to nobody because I'm already doing what I've been doing this for 10 years,
Let me tell you, I've been blessed in the past few years to make friends with individuals in the business. Shout out to our boy Homicide. Shout out to D. And when we're hanging out after a show, or even during the show, there's an amount of respect that goes from these young guys to him. They always walk by, they shake his hand. Thank you for everything you've done. Thank you for the business. Thank you for blah, blah, blah. It is always that acknowledgement. And he's such a humble dude that he doesn't really put that together. In that locker room, I think in AEW, I think there's that feeling of the elder statesmen that's there, that they too are fighting for positions. So they don't even get that accolade or that kind of acknowledgement of what they've done to the business, because they're in the mix with the young guys. So it's an Action Andretti and fucking Darius Martin and Top Flight, they're not gonna really sit there and and I'm just saying that I don't know, but you did that kind of genre, those kind of genres, that generation, they're not going to want to sit there and learn from the Jeff Hardys and such, because they feel that they're a success already. They already you've already put the the contract on them, and they're making money now. So they figure, hey, fuck it, I don't need to know anything from anybody else. Fuck it.
Wow, I'm telling you, because the way I'm looking at it, a lot of because I talk to a lot of the indie guys. I speak to Chris Cage, some PJ Savage, those guys. And some of these guys, they think that how you call it, that everything is like an entitlement. Oh no, you're gonna give me this and what? And I'm like, dude, you're not. Then all these wrestlers that paved the way for you to be in the business, and you just don't care. But what the hell, if somebody comes to try to give you advice, I don't know. It's crazy. Now, before I leave, I just want a real quick WWE stuff. After you saw that SmackDown CM Punk calling out Roman Reigns, do you still think they're still going to run with the Cody versus Roman Reigns and CM Punk versus Seth Rollins at WrestleMania?
Yeah, I'm still going to go Roman, Cody, and Seth versus Punk. The buildup is there. Rollins was throwing shots in a podcast recently. Punk made his promo that he was calling shots yesterday. Yesterday's promo was much better than Monday's.
Oh hell
because Triple H wasn't in the building that Raw.
Yeah.
They put a leash on him and said, "Listen, have him go out there, paint by numbers, get him out there and done. We'll save everything from when I'm there, because at least if I'm there, I could monitor it."
Yeah.
So what he did yesterday was Punk. That was yeah, that was Punk.
Yeah, especially at the beginning when he said, "Oh, they ain't cutting my time off." I'm like, "Oh,
right,
he's starting already."
Yeah. So, I've already called it. I put it on the page and I made the announcement. I said, I'm calling it now. Punk is going to distract or interfere in the Seth Rollins match, and that's going to cause him to lose. It's going to cause him to lose because Damian Priest is going to cash in and win the title.
Oh wow, that's what you said. So because I have Seth Rollins going with Drew McIntyre at Royal Rumble.
Right. That it'll be that Punk will be on commentary. They'll be going back and forth. It's gonna cause Seth to win the match, but Drew is gonna beat the shit out of him, and then Damian is gonna come and cash in and win the title.
We're gonna have our first Puerto Rican since 1972 to win the title.
Damn fucking right.
I thought about that too, because somebody's like,
fucking right.
Somebody pulled some Pedro Morales shit. I'm like, wow, we haven't had one of those in 72 to 51 years, bro. So
yeah, right.
It might happen. So.
And we all gonna be throwing out banderas in the air and playing Hector Lavoe as soon as he wins that shit.
He's some fucking patele, pernil, all that shit.
Royal Rumble is gonna be the season's over. Fuck that. We need pernil
and we pernil all fucking years, so it doesn't matter.
And go get me an aguacate también.
Exactly. Yo, thank you for coming in, bro.
No
again,
problem, bro.
It's a pleasure every time we get together, bro. And like I said, this I had to do because you had me thinking with that New Japan booking technique that AEW is doing. I still think it's not gonna work if they go that route.
I don't think so either, but
because
you got to try something.
Yeah, because the fan base right now, they're storyline oriented. They like that story shit. You can't just put matches because you feel it's going to be a banger. It may be a banger, but then what happens the following? I just told you they went from 842,000 last week, and then down to 820. They can't crack that 900, bro. Definitely,
they can't. They'll crack it for a blip, and then by the end of the show, their ratings down to 724,000. Like, what the fuck?
And like I said, twice this year. Last year did it about 7 or 8 times.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying. And even if they say, okay, they had CM Punk. There was weeks CM Punk wasn't there. There was, I think, during June when CM Punk was recuperating, they still was getting the millions. So, well, the drop is ridiculous. I don't know.
MJF can't be on every quarter hour.
No, I know. And let me tell you, don't be surprised if MJF dropped the belt to Samoa Joe, because are you going to have MJF as your world champion and he's a total labor?
No, I don't see that happening. And the other thing that I discussed, MJF is not leaving. I think he signed
already.
I think he signed already. I think it's just just a ploy to lure people out. And I think he's scared to go to WWE. To be honest with you, I think he's scared.
Really?
I think he's scared. He can't do what he does in AEW. He has the freedom, and that's once again, Tony allows him to do whatever the fuck he wants. He's not going to be able to do that in WWE. They're just going to make him, a different version of himself, and probably, you know, people will draw the comparisons to him and Miz, and they, you know, they're not going to want that. Miz has to go away for this to happen. And right now he's young, you know, he's still got a couple of years in him. You know, he's not even in his 30s yet. He you know, in 4 years he can make that run to WWE if he wants.
The Miz is not going nowhere. Miz is a lifer, bro.
Yeah, no, but I'm not talking about going anyway. I'm talking about ring wise. Miz will always be like, he'll end up having to retire soon or go, you know, become an ambassador. Although he's been one of the solid guys, work rate in wrestling. Yeah, you can't do this shit forever, bro. Like, you know, and he's got other talents and he can do other things. So 4 years from now, we'll be looking at it again. We'll in 2028, we'll be seeing MJF doing this.
And my last question: you think Okada's leaving Japan? I don't think he's going nowhere.
Nah, the only thing that I said that is enticing right now is the way WWE's booking the Japanese wrestlers, and it's done purposely. It's like when they put the belt on Jinder Mahal, it's because they were going to know that they were going to India to open up that market.
Yeah.
So they put the belt on him so he could be a representation. I think it's the lure. It's like when they're when a high school football player is going to a college campus and they pull out all the pom-poms and they're like, hey, you could come to this campus. We got shirts ready for you and all this stuff. I think this is what WWE is doing, is they're showcasing what they could do for Japanese wrestlers, and they lure them in. But the one thing that I could say is, like, Okada and Nakamura are good friends. Cody and Okada are good friends. And you know, that's an interesting way. AJ and Okada are friends. So, you know, you look at Nakamura. Nakamura is like, yo, I'm happy. I live stateside. My family's good. I get to go surf. I get to wear this outfit. I'm good to go. Like, and he's chilling. That's why I said with him, I think he's comfortable. And that's the only way I see Okada going to WWE. But other than that, nah, I think he stays in New Japan.
Yeah, because I think they're giving Okada the Antonio Inoki treatment.
Definitely.
Even if he leaves, you know, the guy's fucking held the belt 7-time world champion.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And even if he leaves and comes back, he's still considered one of the best, a legendary Japanese wrestler.
Right.
So we'll see what happens, though. Anyways, this is the end of the show. My boy Jay Santy from Turnbuckle Tabloid. I didn't even get to even introduce, which is I usually introduce you. Let everybody know where they could catch you at in social media platform and all that good stuff, bro.
Make sure you check us out on all the social media outlets, on Facebook at Turnbuckle Tabloid, on Instagram at Turnbuckle Tab, on Twitter X at Turnbuckle Tab, as well as on TikTok, YouTube, and other streaming outlets. We're at Turnbuckle Tabloid. Make sure you check us out on all podcasting outlets, iHeart, Spotify, Google Podcasts, wherever there's a podcast, we're there. We're on all platforms. Just search and download and subscribe. Be a part of the vibe of Turnbuckle Tabloid. And once again, brother, thanks again for having me check in with you guys, man. You guys is awesome.
Always, man. Always. You're always welcome. You guys want to check me out, you go check my social media, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, even TikTok. I put little clips in there. Also, check out my podcast store, tcwr.veryimpressive.com. That's tcwr.veryimpressive.com. So again, once again, thanks for everybody joining us, all my subscribers, and definitely hit the YouTube channel. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. I got content galore in there. So, you know, again, Jay, thank you for coming in, bro. You know, you're always welcome here. Even though we be fighting on social media, we got to get Mike.
Baby. It's all love, baby.
We got to get Mike here and do some how you call it live here. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, we got to do this. If you want, I was thinking maybe on New Year's Eve, but at 12 o'clock in the afternoon, before we all, you know, before we get alcohol coma, do a little like a review of the year.
No problem. Definitely. I'll be off that day, so I'm good. Okay, good. All right, then. I guess this is it, guys. Again, check us out on all outlets. With all the outlets he told you, all the outlets I'm at. So check it out. And until then, guys, I'll see you guys next week.